Howdy Moz fans, welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Friday. I'm Cyrus Shepard. Today, so glad that you can join us. We are talking about 21 smart Google SEO tips for 2021. We're getting ready for a new year of SEO strategies. These are 21 practical tips that you can implement that should hopefully move the needle on your organic traffic. These are some of the best tips that I've collected over the past year, many of them that I'm going to use myself in my own SEO strategies. Now we have 4 categories: increasing clicks, content, on-page SEO tips, technical SEO, and a little bit of link building. There's 21 of these. These are going to go fast. We're trying to do 10 to 12 minutes, so we don't get to spend a lot of time on each one. But don't fret. We're going to link to appropriate resources in the transcript below so that we can keep along and explore a little bit more. All right, ready to dive in? Let's start with clicks, specifically earning more clicks from Google without actually ranking higher. Because that's one of the great things about SEO. You don't actually have to rank higher to get more traffic if you can get more clicks from the rankings that you already have. So let's talk about some specific strategies for getting more clicks without increasing rankings. First, Favicon Optimization. Now, I'm surprised more people haven't talked about this in 2020. Google displays favicons in mobile search results, and they can influence your click-through rate if they're high contrast, if they're visible or not visible. Having a good favicon can make, a few percentage points difference, very minor, but it does make a difference if you can get it right. Aaron Wall, SEO book, wrote one of the very few posts about that. We'll link to that below. While we're optimizing our favicons, let's take a look at breadcrumb optimization. Google displays breadcrumbs in both desktop and mobile search results. They can be keyword-rich breadcrumbs, which can influence your click-through rate. Now, Google gets their breadcrumbs from a lot of places. That can be your URL, your schema markup, your actual breadcrumbs on the page. What you want to do is make sure Google is displaying the breadcrumbs that you want them to display, using those keywords that you choose. The best way to do that, make sure that you have breadcrumbs actually on your page with links, that you're using schema markup. Ideally, it would match your URL structure, but that isn't always necessary. So a great breadcrumb optimization audit. Let's optimize those meta descriptions. This is so old school SEO, but recent study shows that 30% of websites don't even use meta descriptions. Now that's understandable because another study shows that 70% of the time Google will rewrite the meta description, usually because it's not using the keywords that the user is searching for. But if we write a well-crafted meta description, it can compel users to click. And that means using keyword-rich descriptions that people are actually searching for. So when Google does use your meta description, it's encouraging those clicks and acting as marketing copy for your website. Along with meta descriptions, titles. Just shared a study recently showing that the dates added to titles increased rankings for a particular brand. Numbers are generally one thing that I always test in title tags that usually produce pretty consistent results. Specifically, dates in title tags are often a winner. January 2021. Don't be spammy about it. Don't include it if it doesn't make sense, and don't fake it. But if you can include a number, it will often increase your click-through rate for any given query. How about doing a boilerplate audit for your title tag? Tip number 5. What's boilerplate? Boilerplate are the parts of your title tag that repeat every single time. For example, here at Moz, we put Moz, our brand name, at the end of every title tag. We used to put Whiteboard Friday at the end of every Whiteboard Friday until we tested it and found out that we actually got more clicks and higher rankings when we removed it. So boilerplate, you want your titles to be unique, provide unique value. So I would encourage you to experiment with your boilerplate and see if removing it actually increases your rankings. Sometimes it's not going to, sometimes you need that boilerplate, but do the test to find out. Tip number 6, schema, specifically FAQ and how-to schema. Google gave us a huge gift when they introduced these in search results. FAQ schema gives you a lot of search real estate. You can't always win it, and you can't always win the how-to schema, but when you do, that can definitely increase or influence people to click on your results, expand those FAQ schemas out. It's not appropriate for every page. You want to make sure that you actually have those facts on your pages, but it is one way in appropriate situations that you can increase clicks without increasing your actual Google ranking. All right, let's move on to some content and on-page tips. All right, number 7, This is the year I want you to look into relaunching your top content. Content can go stale after a few years. So we launch content, you have a blog, you launch it, you share it on social media. Most people forget about it after that. So go back, look at your top content over the last 2 to 5 years, or even 10 years if you want to go back that far, and see what you can relaunch by updating it, keeping it on the same URL. In some cases, you can see gains of 500 to 1,000% just by relaunching some of your old content with some updates. So do a relaunch audit in 2021. Number 8, increasing internal linking. Now, a lot of top SEO agencies, when they need to quickly increase rankings for clients, there are generally 2 things that they know are the easiest levers to pull. First, title tags and meta descriptions, what's getting more clicks, but second is increasing the internal linking. You know that you can increase internal links on your site, and there's probably some opportunities there that you just haven't explored. So let's talk about a couple easy ways to do that without having too much work. Number 9 is updating your old content with new links. This is a step that we see people skip time and time again. When you publish a new blog post, publish a new piece of content, make sure you're going back and updating your old content with those new links. So you're looking at the top keyword that you want to rank for and going in Google Search Console or checking tools like Keyword Explorer to see what other pages on your site rank for that keyword, and then adding links to the new content to those pages. I find when I do this time and time again, it lowers the bounce rate. So you're not only updating your old page with fresh content and fresh links and adding relevance, you're adding links to your new content. So make sure when you publish new content, you're updating your old content with those new links. Number 10, remove unnecessary links from your content. Now, this is a form of page rank sculpting. Page rank sculpting is a dirty word in SEO, but actually it works. To a certain extent. It's not no-follow link page sculpting. It is removing unnecessary links. Do you really need a link to your team page on every page of your website? Do you need a link to your contact form on every page of your website? In many cases, you don't. Sometimes you do. But if you remove the unnecessary links, you can pass more link equity through the links that actually count. And those links are a major Google ranking signal. Number 11. Need you to do a mobile link parity audit. What is that? What is a mobile link parity audit? That is ensuring that the links on your mobile site are the same as the links on your desktop site. Why is that important? Well, the last couple of years, Google has moved to a mobile-first index, meaning what they see on your mobile site, that's your website. That's what counts. So a lot of sites, they have a desktop site, and then they reduce it to their mobile site, and they're missing links. They get rid of header navigation, footer links, things like that. Recent studies show that the average desktop page has 61 links, average mobile page has 54 links. That means on the web as a whole, there are 7 fewer links on mobile pages than desktop pages, meaning a lot of link equity is being lost. So do a study on your own website. Make sure you have mobile link parity between your desktop and your mobile site so you're not losing that equity. Number 12, need you to invest in long-form content. Now, I am not saying that content length is a ranking factor. It is not. Short-form content can rank perfectly well. The reason I want you to invest in long-form content is because consistently, time and time again, when we study this, long-form content earns more links and shares. It also generally tends to rank higher in Google search results. Nothing against short-form content, love short-form content, but long-form content generally gives you more bang for your buck in terms of SEO ranking potential. And when you're doing that long-form content, make sure you do number 13, use more headers. I'm talking about H2, H3 tags, break up your content with good, keyword-rich header tags. Why? Well, we have research from AJ Genrich that shows that the more header tags you have, generally you rank for more featured snippets. Sites with 12 to 13, which seems like a lot of header tags, rank for the most featured snippets of anything that they looked at in their most recent study. So make sure you're breaking up your content with header tags. It adds a little contextual relevance. It's a great way to add some ranking potential to your content. Number 14, leverage topic clusters. Don't just launch one piece of content. Make sure you write about multiple pieces of content around the same subject and link those together. that often, when you do that and you link them intelligently, you can increase engagement because people are reading the different articles. You can add the right contextual interlinks. Have a great case study that I want to show you in the transcript below, where someone did this and produced amazing results. So look into topic clusters for 2021. Finally, bring your content out of tabs. If you have content that is in accordions or drop downs, or you have to click to reveal the content, study after study after study shows that content that's brought out of tabs, brought into the main body so people don't have to click to see, generally performs better than content that's hidden in tabs. Now, to be clear, I don't believe that Google discriminates content in tabs. They seem to be able to index and rank it just fine, but I think people generally engage with content when it's out of tabs, and maybe some of those signals help those pages to rank a little better. All right, just a very few technical SEO tips. We're going fast. Number 16, this is the year to invest in core web vitals. These are some of the page experience signals that Google are bringing to the forefront in 2021. It's going to be an actual ranking factor very soon. We're talking about cumulative shift layout, hard word to say. Generally, we're talking about site speed and delivering great page experience. Now, some of these things are very technical, and Google has some tools like Lighthouse to try to get you how to figure them out. One tip I'd like to share, if you are on WordPress, I highly recommend using Cloudflare. In particular, their APO for WordPress. It's a great way to speed up your WordPress website, help you score better for some of these core web vitals. It's very low cost and it's easy to implement, and it's a great way to speed up your WordPress website. Number 17, sitemaps. Sitemaps, you're allowed to have 50,000 URLs per sitemap. This is always a question in every SEO quiz. How many URLs per sitemap are you allowed? Instead, if you have a large site and you have indexing issues, tip number 17, limit your sitemaps to 10,000 URLs. You don't have to use all 50,000. We have some evidence that using smaller sitemaps, compressing those into a limited URL set, can actually improve your crawlability of those. It's kind of like Google might prioritize those in some way. The data seems to support it. You also get a little bit better data out of Google Search Console. You can see what's being indexed, what's not. Also, leverage dynamic sitemaps. Our friend Oliver shows that I'll link to in the transcript below. Dynamic sitemap is a sitemap that changes based upon what you want Google to crawl. So if you have a large corpus of URLs that you want Google to crawl, put the high priority one in their own special sitemap. Maybe you limit it to 1,000 URLs, and as Google crawls and discover those, remove them and put in additional high priority URLs that you want Google to discover. And keep the sitemap small and tight, and let Google know that those are the ones that you want them to pay attention to. Let's quickly talk about link building. Link building tips for 2021, because everybody loves link building. No, kidding. Everybody hates link building. Link building is so hard. There are some professionals, there are some great people in the industry who do love it, who are great at it. Personally, I'm not that great at link building, but I still am able to build a lot of links. One way that I'm able to do that is number 19, passive link acquisition. And what passive link acquisition means is creating content that passively earns links as people discover it in the SERPs. It means I don't have to outreach to people. It means that when they find it, when journalists find it, when bloggers find it, they naturally want to link to it. And you do that by creating the types of content that journalists and bloggers and web creators are looking for. These are generally data, guides, definitions, how-tos, such as this video. When you create that kind of content, it generally earns a lot of links as people find it. Passive link building is one of the most sustainable ways to earn links over time. Number 20, page level link intersect. When you do have to do outreach, you want to do outreach to the pages most likely to link to you. Now we know we've known for a long time. One of the top SEO tips for link building is find websites that link to your competitors, but not to you. I like to make that a little more specific and find web pages that link to at least 2 of my competitors, but not to me. That means that they are generally a resource page if they're linking to multiple competitors, but not to me, and more likely to link to me if I ask them. We have a great tool here at Moz, Link Explorer, that does page level link intersect. I think it's the best tool for this specific task in the SEO industry, not because I'm biased, because I actually use it. Tip number 21 for 2021, be the last click. What do I mean by that? I mean satisfy your users. Once you earn the first click, you want to get that first click that people click, but you also want to be the last click. That means they found what they are looking for. User satisfaction is ranking signal number 1. Your goal with all of this is to satisfy the user, to give them what they search for. That's the magic of SEO. They're searching for something and you're delivering it to them at the exact moment they search for it. When you can be the last click, you're almost guaranteed to raise in rankings and get the traffic that you deserve. All right, those are 21 tips. That's your roadmap for 2021. Hope you enjoyed it. Please share this video and share your tips for 2021 in the comments below. Thanks, everybody.